Catherine slid the deadbolt shut, her smile thin. The lock clicked, hidden under the football game noise from the house. The kitchen smelled of pumpkin pie. Brenda dried her hands and glanced around. The spot by her chair where Boomer always lay was empty.
Kenneth, look around. Where is Boomer? I don't see him.
Oh, sweetheart, I put him in the garage to calm him. You know how much I hate dog hair on the furniture?
You had no right to lock him away. He's my medical equipment, not a nuisance.
Brenda, don't start. She was just tidying up. Boomer is fine. He's a dog, for God's sake.
Brenda ran through the crisp evening to the detached garage. The side door gaped open, exposing a dark, hollow space. No Labrador, no collar, nothing.
The garage is empty, Catherine. Where is my dog? The side door was wide open. He doesn't wander.
Oh, honey, I must have left the side door open by mistake. Labs always wander off. He'll come back when he's hungry.
Brenda's flashlight cut through the November dark as she called Boomer's name into the wind. At the farmhouse window, Catherine watched the light bob farther away, and a slow, satisfied breath left her lips. Brenda stumbled back into the kitchen after 3 hours, shivering. Catherine poured coffee with a steady hand, the portrait of calm.
Nobody's going to help me look? He's out there alone, and you're all just sitting here.
Honey, it's pitch black outside. He's probably curled up somewhere. We'll search first thing in the morning. I promise.
Brenda, she's right. You've been out for hours. Let's wait for daylight. Boomer knows his way around.
He's a service dog, Kenneth. Not a stray who wanders. He stays by my side. Always. Something's wrong. Don't you get it?
She searched until 2 a.m., her flashlight dying. Kenneth dragged her inside without a word, her boots caked with mud. The next morning, Brenda stood at the police station counter. Officer Miller listened, his expression saying it was just another missing dog.
We'll flag his microchip. If he's found, we'll call. But dogs run off all the time, ma'am. He might still come back.
You heard him, Brenda. Maybe my mom is right. You need to let it go for a while. I can't handle you like this every night.
That night, without Boomer's weight anchoring her legs, the nightmares came. She woke at 3 a.m., gasping, the silent room offering no comfort. Brenda woke to an empty house, the silence louder than any alarm. She reached for Boomer's leash on the hook, her hand closed on air.
I can't breathe. Not without him. Where is he?
She sat on the floor, back against the wall, until the shaking stopped. Then the phone rang.
Brenda, dear, just checking in. Any sign of that dog?
No, and he's not that dog. He's my service animal.
Oh, I meant no harm. Maybe it's time to admit you can manage without him. You're stronger than you think, dear.
You don't understand. He's not just a pet. He's my medical equipment, prescribed by my psychiatrist. I need him to function.
Well, I only want what's best for you. I'll call again tomorrow.
Kenneth came home to find Brenda staring at a blank wall. He set his keys down, weary, and tried to make peace.
Brenda, please, eat something. My mom says you hung up on her. Look, I get it, but he was just a dog. We can get another one.
Brenda stapled a flyer to the board, Boomer's photo watching her. 200 copies, each one a prayer. She called the shelter again, then the Microchip company. They confirmed her number was current. That was all. That evening, Kenneth watched her pace. His patience had worn thin.
You've been at this for days, Brenda. Calling shelters, driving around. It's not healthy.
I won't give up. He's never given up on me. Something isn't right. Why won't you listen?
Then Catherine appeared at the door, casserole dish in hand, sympathy on her face.
Kenneth said you were struggling. I brought dinner. I know how hard it is when an animal goes missing. But a dog runs off sometimes because it senses instability. Maybe Boomer knew he wasn't needed.
Brenda's fists clenched. She swallowed the fire rising in her throat.
I will find you, Boomer. Nobody has to help me.
On day 7, Kenneth's boss called him in. A deal had collapsed because Kenneth missed a critical email, his mind elsewhere. That evening, he drove to his mother's farmhouse. Catherine poured him scotch and listened with practiced patience.
Brenda has always been fragile, Kenneth. This hysteria is hurting you both. Maybe a doctor should evaluate her.
I don't know anymore. She barely sleeps. She talks about Boomer like a missing person.
Kenneth returned home carrying his mother's words like a script. He found Brenda at the table, phone in hand.
Where have you been? I called the state shelter line again. They sent me a list of rural vets.
Brenda, stop. My mom thinks you're losing touch with reality. Maybe she's right.
Brenda's hands went cold. The line was drawn now, her husband on the other side. That night the nightmare returned. But this time she saw Catherine's face in the dark garage, smiling.
He's not gone. He's trapped somewhere, and I know who holds the key.
Brenda drove to the farmhouse at mid-morning, the gravel crunching under her tires. She knew Catherine's bridge club met on Tuesdays. The garage side door was unlocked, just as Catherine had left it. Brenda slipped inside, the dim space smelling of petrol and old wood. She scanned the cluttered shelves, a stack of paint cans, a broken fan, a box of Christmas wreaths. Then, behind a rusted toolbox, a flash of blue. Boomer's service collar, the brass ID tag still attached, the buckle bent. He had tried to claw it off.
She locked him in here alone, in the dark. He hurt himself trying to get free.
Her fingers closed around the nylon, then she pocketed it carefully. No one would see her leave. She pulled the garage door shut and walked quickly to her car, her heart pounding with a terrible certainty. That afternoon she sat in her living room, the collar heavy in her jacket. Kenneth was at work. She made no calls.
I have to be patient. I need more than this to make anyone believe me.
She hid the collar in her nightstand, beneath her dog tags. It would wait there like a promise. Kenneth burst through the door, his face dark. Catherine had called him at lunch, her voice trembling with indignation.
You went to my mother's house? She told me you broke into the garage. What is wrong with you?
Brenda's hand moved toward her nightstand, then stopped. The collar burned in its hiding place. She would not show it. Not yet.
I needed to look. Catherine locked him in there, Kenneth. I found. I just know it. Why won't you believe me?
Believe you? My mother is devastated. You're trespassing now. This obsession has to end or I don't know what's left for us.
Then the phone rang. Kenneth snatched it, putting his mother on speaker as if to prove a point.
Kenneth, did you speak to her? I feel so violated. She was in my garage prowling, a grown woman acting like a detective.
She's right here, Mom. She says you locked the dog in the garage. Is that true?
I would never. I only wanted to keep my house clean. She's twisting things because she can't handle that dog running off.
Keep quiet. She'll hang herself with her own words. Just hold on.
Kenneth packed a bag in silence, the zipper loud in the dark hallway. Brenda watched from the bedroom door, wordless.
I'm staying at my mom's tonight. I can't be here. Maybe we both need space.
The front door clicked shut, then only emptiness. Brenda stood frozen until the clock ticked 10 times.
He actually left. He chose her. Over his wife, over our dog.
An hour later, she dialed the microchip registry. A voice answered, cheerful, routine.
I need to update my contact number and add a priority alert for my service dog, Boomer. He's been missing for almost 2 weeks.
The rep confirmed the update and added a flag. If scanned, contact owner immediately. Brenda thanked her, voice cracking. Then she sat in the stillness. The house was too quiet. Every corner a reminder of Boomer's absence.
I can't break. He needs me to be strong. The chip is our only chance now.
She opened the nightstand drawer, touched the bent collar, then closed it again. All she could do now was wait. Catherine leaned on the farmhouse fence, telling a neighbor a careful lie. Her smile was pleasant, her eyes cold.
I drove that stray yellow lab to the Jefferson County shelter. They're better with strays.
The neighbor repeated the story to a friend, and it spread through the church phone tree. By evening, a searcher from Brenda's volunteer group called her.
Someone dropped a lab at a shelter? Which one?
The details were secondhand, a heavyset woman, A maroon car, a shelter 2 counties away.
It could be nothing, but I'm calling every shelter within 50 miles.
She hung up and dialed the first number, her heart hammering.
I'm looking for a yellow lab. Microchipped, wore a blue service collar.
Each no was a knife, but she kept dialing. A human compass hunting for her dog. By noon on the 13th day, Brenda had called 17 shelters. Her voice was gone, her notebook a wall of crossed-out names. Then the phone rang. She almost didn't answer.
Ms. Hayes, this is Amanda Reyes from the county shelter. We scanned a yellow lab this morning. Your microchip alert flagged.
A yellow lab? Did he have a blue collar? A service vest?
No collar or vest when he came in, but the chip matches your report. He's a bit thin, paws raw. He's been here 2 weeks.
Is he alive? Please tell me he's alive. Oh God, 2 weeks!
He's alive. We'll keep him stable until you get here? We're at the county shelter on Route 9?
Brenda wrote the address with a trembling hand. She didn't ask how he got there. Not yet.
He's alive. She threw him away, and he held on. I'm coming, Boomer.
She grabbed her keys. The 40-mile drive stretched ahead like a prayer finally answered. Brenda pulled into the county shelter lot, gravel popping under her tires. The low cinder-block building felt like a secret she'd finally unlocked. Amanda Reyes met her at the front desk, clipboard in hand, a gentle smile on her face.
I'm Amanda. He's in the back. He's been waiting for someone.
They passed rows of barking dogs, the sound sharp and desperate, until Amanda stopped at a quiet kennel. Inside, a thin yellow lab lifted its head. Then its tail began a slow, hopeful wag.
Boomer! Oh, baby, I'm here! I'm right here!
She pulled him close, burying her face in his matted fur, feeling the knobs of his spine. He whimpered, thumping his tail against the concrete.
We got him some food, but here's his intake form. Says a heavy-set older woman in a maroon sedan dropped him off. No name given.
Brenda read the handwritten note, her breath catching. The description was no surprise. The jagged anger that followed was,
Catherine, you didn't just let him wander. You drove him here to be lost forever.
Before leaving, Brenda asked Amanda, "Do you have security cameras? I need to know who dropped him off."
Do you have security footage of the drop-off area? I need to see the woman who brought him.
We keep recordings for 30 days, but you'll need to file a formal records request.
She filed the request and took Boomer to a vet. 2 days later, a manila envelope sat on her porch. Inside, a DVD. She slid it into her laptop, the whir matching her heartbeat. The footage was grainy, time-stamped. Then a maroon sedan pulled into frame. On screen, Catherine beamed, leading Boomer on a leash. She patted his head like a joke.
She smiled while tying his leash to a kennel. She smiled like she'd won.
Brenda copied the file onto a USB drive, then sealed the DVD back. Evidence locked tight.
Now I have everything. No more waiting. Kenneth will see exactly what his mother did.
Brenda texted Kenneth 4 words. "Come home. You need to see this." He arrived an hour later, wary.
What now, Brenda? I'm not in the mood for more accusations.
I found Boomer. He's alive, but thin, and I have proof of what your mother did. Just watch.
She laid out the bent collar, the intake form, then started the footage. Kenneth's face hardened as the video played. On the screen, Catherine led Boomer with a sweet smile, then handed the leash to a shelter worker without a backward glance.
That's her. That's my mother. She said he ran off. She looked me in the eye.
She locked him in the garage, then drove him 40 miles away to be abandoned. She wanted you to think I was crazy.
Kenneth's shoulders shook. He had seen his mother's mask slip, and the floor beneath him was gone.
Brenda, I'm so sorry. I chose her over you, over our dog. Tell me what you want to do. I'll stand by you.
We pressed charges. Animal abandonment and theft of a service animal. She has to answer for this.
Brenda and Kenneth walked into the police station side by side, a folder of evidence in Kenneth's grip.
Mrs. Hayes, I remember the missing dog report. Any luck?
We found him, and we have proof of who did it. It's his mother.
She laid out the bent collar, the shelter intake form, then placed the USB drive on top.
Let's see it. If this is what you say, we're dealing with more than a lost dog.
The footage played on his monitor. Catherine's cheerful face, Boomer on the leash, the timestamp. Miller's expression cooled.
Theft of a service animal. That's a federal charge under the ADA. I'm writing a referral to the district attorney.
That's my mother. I'll identify her in any report you need.
Miller filed the charge sheet and requested an arrest warrant. The case was now active. Brenda exhaled, the weight of 13 days lifting. The law was finally her weapon, not Catherine's. 2 officers stepped out of a patrol car. Catherine watched from behind the lace curtain, her smile vanishing.
Catherine Dunn, you're under arrest. Animal abandonment. Theft of a service animal.
That's absurd. I'm a respected woman. Who made these accusations?
George shuffled to the door, his face slack as Catherine was cuffed and led past him into the cold. She was released on bail the next morning, but the rumor had already run through town.
Your wife has brainwashed you, Kenneth. She's made you turn on your own mother.
I saw the footage, Mom. I watched you hand him over. No more lies.
That dog was a nuisance. I did you a favor. You'll regret this.
Kenneth ended the call without reply. Brenda's hand found his, and they stood in a fragile new alliance. The family fracture was now public. At the post office, at church, whispers followed the Dunn name. Catherine hired an attorney, a narrow man with a briefcase, who filed a motion to suppress the shelter footage as illegally obtained. The judge denied the motion within days. The footage was from a public lot, and Brenda's records request followed procedure. With evidence intact, the prosecutors set a trial date for late January. Catherine called it a circus, but her confidence had a crack.
Once this nonsense is over, Kenneth will remember who his real family is.
Brenda and Kenneth sat in the counselor's office, the air thick with unsaid things.
I believed my mother because it was easier than admitting she could do something so cruel.
I needed you to trust me without seeing it first. That was the wound, your doubt, not just his absence.
At home, Boomer's pause healed. He nudged Brenda's hand to open the drawer where his service vest hung.
He's ready to work again. So am I.
The trial date loomed 3 weeks away. The house felt steadier, but the real test hadn't started. The courtroom was a tight box of polished wood and held breath. Judge Hartley's gavel brought silence.
I scanned him on intake. His microchip returned Miss Hayes' information and a priority alert.
The prosecution entered the microchip log and the shelter intake form into evidence, laying them before the jury. Then the footage played, Catherine's smiling face leading Boomer. The jury shifted. Brenda took the stand, her voice dry but steady. Kenneth watched from the front row.
Without Boomer, my PTSD spirals. He's not a pet. He's trained to keep me alive. She knew that.
The defense rose, a smooth voice suggesting Catherine had simply taken a stray to a shelter, a good deed twisted.
I found a lost dog and did the responsible thing. I was being a good Samaritan.
But the intake form contradicted her. No mention of a found stray, just a drop-off without name. Closing arguments finished. The jury filed out, and the courtroom exhaled. The wait began. The jury returned in under an hour, their faces giving nothing away. Brenda's hand found Kenneth's under the wooden bench. The 4 persons stood, paper trembling. On the charge of misdemeanor animal abandonment, we find the defendant, Catherine Dunn, guilty. Catherine's mouth opened, but no sound came. The color drained from her cheeks, leaving a mask of white powder. Kenneth gripped Brenda's hand, his knuckles white. Brenda exhaled, a sob catching in her throat. The theft of service animal charge was dropped in a negotiated plea, but the abandonment verdict was the blow that mattered. Catherine's attorney touched her elbow, but she pulled away, her eyes fixed on the judge with simmering disbelief.
The court thanks the jury. Sentencing will be set for 2 weeks from today. The defendant is remanded to probation supervision until then.
Brenda and Kenneth walked out into the cold January light, still holding hands.
It's over. She can't pretend anymore.
The conviction was a public vindication, but the final price of Catherine's cruelty hadn't yet been named. 2 weeks later, the courtroom filled again. Brenda stood at the lectern, a single page of notes trembling in her hand.
Boomer is my lifeline. For 13 days, she stole my safety and my sanity. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Judge Hartley listened, her pen tapping once on the bench. Then she spoke.
The court orders you to pay $2,000 in veterinary recovery costs and a $1,000 fine to a veterans service dog charity. 6 months probation.
Catherine's face twisted. The fine was a public branding, the charity selection a deliberate twist of the knife.
You're fortunate the state didn't pursue jail time. Use this chance to reflect.
Brenda didn't smile, but her shoulders dropped. The law had finally named the cost of what Catherine did. Catherine was escorted out by a bailiff, her head still high, but her steps unsteady. Kenneth didn't look at his mother. He reached for Brenda's hand, and they walked out together. The legal chapter was closed. For the first time in weeks, Brenda felt the ground beneath her feet. A court envelope arrived, fat with a cashier's check for $2,000. No apology, no letter, just Catherine's cold compliance. Brenda wrote a separate check for $1,000 to vets in need service dogs. The fine would serve other veterans like her.
I told my mother we won't be visiting, not for a long time.
That must have been hard. But you did what you needed to do.
Boomer nudged his service vest from its hook, the blue nylon crisp and clean. His paws had healed without a scar.
He's ready to work again. So am I.
At their next counseling session, they talked less about the past and more about a quiet Thanksgiving at home.
I want to cook this year. Just us. No drama.
Boomer lay at their feet, his eyes tracking them both. The house, once a battlefield, began to feel like home again.
We're not the same, but we're still here. That's enough for now.
A year later, Thanksgiving morning belonged to just the two of them and Boomer. The kitchen was small, warm, and theirs alone.
You're basting that turkey like it owes you money.
I've learned a few things this year, including how to keep a bird moist.
They set the table with only 2 plates, but the third presence was felt a yellow lab curled at Brenda's feet, his vest hanging near the door.
I want to say something, to us, and to Boomer. Whatever we lost, we kept what mattered.
Brenda touched his glass with hers. No ghost of Catherine sat at the empty chair.
A year ago, I was searching through mud for a ghost. Now I'm sitting in our home, and it's enough.
The turkey was a little dry, and no one cared. The silence wasn't empty, it was calm. Boomer rested his head on her lap, his eyes half closed. The microchip tag glinted on his collar, a quiet witness.
Home. It's not a place. It's this. Him at my side. Kenneth across the table. And no one trying to tear us apart.
After the dishes, Brenda stepped onto the porch. The autumn sun was sinking, painting the sky amber and rose. Boomer followed her, his steps soundless, and settled at her feet. His tail thumped once against the wood. She leaned against the railing, breathing deep. The air smelled of dried leaves and something like forgiveness. The screen door creaked. Kenneth stepped out and draped an arm around her shoulders without a word. They stood like that, watching the light bleed away. No one spoke, because there was nothing left to fix. Boomer's tail wagged steadily. The microchip tag on his collar caught the last bronze light, a tiny star.
He'd saved her once from her own mind, and now from her own family. The chip was just the proof.
The porch was quiet, but not empty. Kenneth's arm, Boomer's warmth, the fading sun, this was what home looked like now. She had trusted the dog, and the dog had trusted the chip. Together, they had all found their way back. And somewhere, sealed in a database, the microchip log recorded the quiet truth that had set everything right.